I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm not worried about Brandon Staley a little bit because
Worried is an
he's
understatement
Staley.
when it comes
Staley.
to Brandon Staley.
Staley. He has his isms, Um, but he has corrected it this year. He's not as aggressive as he was. He's not going for it on their 20-yard line, which is good. I think that this is a game where it's ultimately going to come down to their playmakers, and
Yeah.
I like their playmakers on the Chargers more, and I think they have more talent on defense as well. So that's why I'm picking the Chargers.
Yeah, I feel like a game like this comes down to coaching and it comes to heart. And I feel like the Jaguars this season have had more heart. They've had to fight through more adversity. They're the hotter team who's putting together. I feel like their offense is a lot more dynamic than the Chargers because they played the Cowboys in that game. And then you want to talk about containing Austin Eckler? Well, I've seen a team do that. Oh yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I've seen. You want to talk about being able to contain Travis Etienne? How did the Chargers contain Travis Etienne last time they played and get blown out 38-10? And then it's like I get both that was when the Chargers were healthy on defense, and it was before people were dropping like flies, and it was when they, you know, went up against the Raiders and beat them 28-14 and then played dominant. So it's like they played each other in week 3. I get it, but when it comes to this game, it's going to come down to coaching. It's going to come down to heart. And I've seen the Chargers come out flat, and I've seen the Jaguars become hot, come into their own, no pressure. And I feel like there's more pressure on the Chargers coming into this game because Doug Peterson, is he coaching for his job in this game? No. Is Brandon Staley? We don't know. Potentially, especially if Mike Williams isn't healthy in this game because you played him in the last week of the season when it was determined. It's like, that's on you, buddy. So it's like, I don't think Mike Williams is going to be healthy, and that's going to break the game. Especially, it's like he hurt his lower back. So, of course, he's going to play in the playoffs, but their games have come down to him making a crazy catch at the end of the game, which I don't think those plays are going to be there with a hurt lower back.
Yeah, that's a good point. But next question for this game is, what would the legacy be if the Chargers win this game? And then obviously later we'll talk about what the legacy will be if the Jags win this game.
Legacy if the Chargers win this game will be the season where they finally made the playoffs. Justin Herbert got his first playoff win and then solidifies himself as the top 5 quarterback in the NFL. On the other side of it, it'll be the game that saved Brandon Staley's job. They'll have to put up with the Brandon Staleyism going forward, and then they're going to kind of be stuck because he got you to the playoffs one time, got you to a wild card game, and won it. But he's not someone ideally that you want with Justin Herbert. You'd rather have someone like Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh with him. So it's like, it'll be bittersweet if the Chargers win. If the Jags win, you guys were 4-8. You guys were the first round pick the past 2 years. Worst team in the football back-to-back years. You are, out of 19 years, there's always been a team that goes from out of the last 21 years, there's been 19 teams to go from worst to first in your division. You'll be able to do that this year and then get a home playoff win. That'll work wonders for Trevor Lawrence, especially going into next year, getting a top 5 wide receiver. So I feel like the sky's the limit for the future of the Jaguars if you win this game. And then just even getting to the playoffs, I feel like no shame in losing, especially when you were 4-8.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as for the Jags, if they win this game, put respect on Doug Peterson's name. I think even though people consider him to be a good coach, people forget that he outcoached Belichick in a Super Bowl. He led that Eagles team with Nick Foles. He's a great coach. No disrespect to Doug Peterson. This will be a great win for him, especially against a good Chargers team, talented Chargers team. Trevor Lawrence, goes up that hierarchy, especially if he has like an all-time great game. So those are the things that I look for in those games. Also, that Jags rebuild, no longer in a rebuild. They're in contention mode once when they win that playoff game. Once when it comes down to 2 playoff games to determine Super Bowl's outcomes, that's when they get more aggressive. For the Chargers, if they win this game, I think this, Justin Herbert, same thing. Both wins, I think will elevate them in the hierarchy because I think they're both kind of neck and neck. Brandon Staley, I think it probably keeps his job. I think you're right about that. Also, the moves in the offseason that they made, getting Sebastian Joseph Day, getting Khalil Mack, getting J.C. Jackson, it'll pay off.
Yeah.
Granted, I still think they want to make it to the AFC title game at least, if not the Super Bowl. But those moves become legitimate at that point.
Yeah, either way, no matter who wins this game, I think they have a great shot to upset the Chiefs in the second round, make them very uncomfortable. Especially if you have a Jaguars team walking into Arrowhead after starting 4-8, making the playoffs, and then you go ahead, beat their division rival at home, and then you're walking into Arrowhead with house money. It's like no Tyreek Hill there.
That's
It's
scary.
like if I'm the Chiefs, that's a game where I start to worry a little bit, especially because Doug Peterson is off the Andy Reid tree. They're both familiar with each other, and then Trevor Lawrence going head to head with Patrick Mahomes, or Justin Herbert coming for another rematch with the Chiefs this year, try and even the score with them and then beat them in the playoffs. It's like either one of those teams, you are horrified if you're the Chiefs if you lose. So definitely look out for that in the second round.
Yeah, I'm excited because Chargers are familiar with the Chiefs. Obviously, they always are. It's always like a 3-point game between those two. And then for the Jags, it's like 6 straight wins going in there. And yeah, so it's going to be a great game. I'm excited for it. This might be my favorite game of the week, to be honest.
Yeah, because like if we're gonna wrap up the AFC, I think the Bills and the Bengals both handle business.